Good morning, everyone. Time for our brief on the names of God. This morning we're going to talk about a name that in Hebrew is pronounced Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, and we are familiar with it, and it is often translated as I am who I will be who I will be, the self-existing one, or to be present. And the first time it's in Scripture, if you will look with me on the board or on the screen, is in Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. And I always forget to do this, but in your bulletin is a card that'll tell you about this name. But in Exodus chapter 3, verse 14, God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. And this is the name that God spoke to Moses at the burning bush. And it was because the Israelites not only needed to know that God existed, but that he was present with them through all of their suffering. And actually, to the Hebrew mind, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh means to them, he who lives. And this name, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, is closely related to God's sacred personal name as well. And I wanted to share something significant with you. In the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Old Testament that was written before the time of Christ, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh in Greek, and I have that on a little card, is Ego Emi Ho-On. And that also means I am who I am, or I will be who I will be. And the significant part I wanted to share with you is this is also mentioned in the New Testament. If you look with me at John chapter 8, verse 58, Jesus is speaking with some Pharisees and the Jews, and he says, very truly I tell you, before Abraham was born, I am. And that word I am is Ego Emi. And the Jews knew the scriptures very well, so that they knew when he said that, what triggered in their mind would have been what God was speaking to Moses at the burning bush. And we know that because the context says in the very next verse, what did they do? They picked up stones to try to stone him. If it was an insignificant statement, they would not have done that. Yeah. But because of what he was referencing himself, as they were. And if you also look at John 18, verse 5 and 6, this is when Jesus and the disciples were in the Garden of Gethsemane, and Judas and the men had come to arrest Jesus. And Jesus said to them, who are you looking for? And if you look on the monitor with me, it's Jesus of Nazareth, they replied. And Jesus said, I am he. And Judas was standing there. So Jesus said, Ego Emi. And what happened in the next verse, verse 6, when Jesus said, Ego Emi, they drew back and fell to the ground. No one falls back when someone says, I'm here, it is I. Yeah. But they fell back because this was the Holy God who had spoken. So there are other scripture verses where in John especially it says, I am the light of the world, I am the gate, I am the door. He would be saying, Ego Emi, and then other words. But these are two examples in the book of John where he just said Ego Emi, and there's several others as well. So God bless you.